is an Akashic reading for Graceful Power. The first name that actually came in, you had a code name that came in before that, but it didn't seem quite the one that they wanted to bring through. But the first thing they said was a gentle power. And then they came in with graceful power. But still, the energies around you and with you, and even that you carry, there is a power with them. It is powerful, but at the same time, it is gentle, or it's graceful. Like they say, the strongest power requires the lightest touch. So it's not a forceful power, it is a graceful power. It's not about subduing anyone, it's about goodwill and good intentions and communicating them in a graceful way, or being graceful, harming no one with the power that you contain. But at the same time, it is an influence. This came up in your other reading also. This energy of being able to influence others was in that lifetime. But there is this energy of communication coming in right away. That communication can be an influence. So persuasion. So there's this feeling that your guides are coming in with of almost an energy of being able to persuade others. Like an energy that you give off that can persuade others. This is almost similar to what Wolf was speaking about in our recent video about starseed abilities, where he was talking about projecting an energy. But in this case, some of it has to do with what you communicate. But again, they're talking about these two energies, like yes, it's power, but it doesn't harm anything. It doesn't influence something to the point of controlling it, so it guides it. So a graceful power is a guiding power versus a controlling power, they're saying. And this is something they want to almost remind you of and encourage you to do and really master, to guard this part of you that, and they're not saying that you don't have it, but they're saying simply that they want you to they want you to be calm, they want you to be still, and they want you to know that you don't have to ever force anything. They want you to know how gentle your power can be, really how forceless it can be. That it doesn't need a force or a push, that it will happen naturally. Like the more that you just allow it, the more that you sit back and you just allow it. So the more that you almost in a sense don't care about it, or you just let it flow freely through you, and you don't strive to obtain more of it. You just allow it to surge through you. And then the more you'll master the part of you that actually allows the power to come through, they're saying. So if there is a force, it can actually block something from surfacing and really developing. So they almost want you to relax into your power, relax into yourself, relax into who you are and don't feel like you have to force anything or you have to prove anything, they're saying. The more that you relax into this, the more that this will overflow. So they're saying that there is incredible power that you can tap into within yourself and from around you. But it has to almost be eased into or sort of dropped into or melted into. And there's this energy again, almost like the more that they know that you don't care about it, the more that they allow it to come through you. And the more even you yourself allow it to come through you. The more you strive or almost try to push it out of yourself, or the more that you would like it to come to you, the more elusive it is. The more you push it away is more what they're saying. Because that's just the reaction it has. That's just the natural reaction. Like it's going to play hard to get. So they're not saying anything like, you're not a good person or something, or you're not gentle or something like that, or that you haven't mastered this to a good degree. But they're more talking about, they're still saying gentle, but they're saying allowing. So the more that you sit back and allow it out of yourself, your own power, the more it surges through you to the point that it's overflowing and it is all out of you. But also it's called up when it's needed. That's another feeling coming through, because they're saying you're going to find throughout the course of your lifetime, or even courses, they're saying, of your lifetime or lifetimes maybe, you're going to find that there is like a reserve of power that can be called on, that can be harnessed when it's needed, and it will just naturally be there when it's needed. And that's also about allowing it. It's like for instance, they're reminding me of something that I read once a long time ago, or heard of a long time ago. And this was a story of a lady, a mother, and her baby ended up stuck underneath a car. Or I guess it was her child, because it was able to come out. But her child ended up stuck under the car, a young child. And this is a car, but when push came to shove and she really needed to get the child out from under the car, suddenly she was able to actually lift the car up and it was able to come out. It was able to crawl out from under. And so obviously, if she were thinking about her limitations and processing them like she normally would have, she would not have been able to lift an entire car. But in this case, because of how much she needed to do this, there wasn't any thought of limitation. There's just this panic, and suddenly she's lifting this car, and she not only has the adrenaline to do so, but it's not just a physical thing. Obviously, adrenaline is not enough. It is suddenly her mentality becomes one of no limitations. She knows that she can do this now because suddenly she has to do it. So when it is needed and it has to come out, it is available to you, and it can. And that goes to show also, they're saying that when it is allowed, it comes out. When it's needed, it is allowed out naturally. And the rest of the time, it's just about sitting back and shifting into a state of allowance. So this state isn't pushed on you by a circumstance. It's something that you obtain, that you acquire just by going within and just being still. Because there is a lot of ability to tap into and a lot of ability to harness. But they're stressing that it's naturally there. It isn't something, and some of this they're speaking about is psychic abilities. But even memories, even like past life memories of where you are from and things like this, or different occurrences. But they are especially speaking about different psychic occurrences. This happens when you allow it. Now, if you felt to take a class or something and this was just out of joy and out of love, and you didn't feel anything like attempting to be the best or anything like that, you naturally would learn something. But really you would learn that you're already there, you've already mastered this. So you've mastered a lot of abilities in other lifetimes. But they keep talking about almost a need to prove yourself. They're sending this again. There's like a need to prove yourself. They want you to let it go. You don't need to prove yourself. You're already there. You're already important. You've been important. So that's not what you're doing now, they're saying. You don't they want you to let go of that's how it's coming in, being important. They almost want you to let go of that. I wasn't expecting that. When am I ever expecting anything that comes in during a reading, though? Okay. They want you to tap into the side that doesn't actually care about who you were or even who you are now, or needing to feel powerful or having an urge to know that you are, because you don't need those things. You are it. You already are that, they're saying. You are powerful. You are important. You are graceful. You are gentle. You are pure. You don't harm others, but you influence others. You have an influence. You have a power. You don't need to know this. You can feel it. You don't need to know this. You need to let this flow through you, and then you're going to do everything that you came here to do. And then you're going to be who you're meant to be in this lifetime, and that is what is important. That said, they're still going to get to people that you were in other lifetimes. They're actually showing me a picture of a teddy bear. My teddy bear, actually, they're showing me a picture of a teddy bear that I actually still have. But they're giving me this feeling of a child, like a young child, and they're saying that a child is immensely powerful, much more so than an adult. And this is because of how open they are. And how advanced they are comes because of how open they are. So they're saying that this is a knowing. So they want to confirm to you. They want to confirm to you that yes, you are powerful. Yes, you have been important people before. Yes, you have. And yes, you are known or heard of in certain places or dimensions. Yes, you are. That they're saying, be here now and ground yourself, because this immense power needs to be allowed through you. You need to let it down. You need to allow it through you. You need to let it melt through you. And they're saying to give up on it, except for allowing it. Focus on the allowing aspect of it. So without any kind of expectation or anything, just let it come through you and let it work the way that it does. Let it do whatever it wants, whatever it's going to do naturally. This is a lot of angelic energies coming in, by the way. And also, again, there has been some kind of dragon energy also coming in, like a dragon entity around you. And even this feeling that you were one, or that you are very connected to them in some way. And again, I think they had me do this last time, but they had me use my dragon again, which is actually a lion, but it's my dragon. That's what it represents. Okay. Water. Okay, and I forgot to say what my crystals were that I have out here, but I also have the selenite. This is for clearing, and it's also about an angelic energy coming in. And there are definitely several angels around you. Archangels as well. So several, several angels, which can be various types. So I didn't mean several angels and then also archangels, but I'm saying I'm sensing several angelic entities around you. Now I also have my crystal quartz wand here as well, which is the same type of thing to me. I have my two of my rose quartz crystals, actually three. So this is heart chakra energy, but this again it can represent it is a gentle energy, and so it can also represent an angelic frequency to me. The same with the green fluorite. It's heart chakra. It has to do with nature, and this might be blue calcite. I don't really know. But I also always think of this as a very light, kind of angelic frequency coming in. That's just what I always feel from it. And then I have my fuchsite here, which is another like healing stone. So this again it's also a very calming stone. So a lot of gentle energies coming in, and then the dragon. And that was interesting. Because when I started, it was the dragon that they had me use to create my sacred space. But then when I was creating it, it just ended up filling up with these angelic frequencies. So it didn't seem like I was using much of the dragon's energy actually to create the space, or even like I was doing it. It seemed like I started and then, yeah. Then they just came in with a lot of their own energies and filled the space. So then I surrounded myself and you. Well, when I surrounded you using the dragon, that was pretty interesting. You still had a lot of angelic entities coming around you. And then there was a dragon that I saw very clearly. But then the dragon here that I'm using, it reacted in a way almost like when it was putting the energy around you, it was almost like a cooing dove kind of energy, like where the dragon's kind of like it feels this warmth from you, almost like either it recognizes you or like it sees someone that you were, or a being type that you have been. I'm not 100% sure on what that is about, but there was almost this healing quality from you of almost being able to calm it, to calm things around you. This keeps coming in during your readings. This persuading type of energy, but then also a healing type of energy comes in with this as well, because you can calm something down. And so you can take something that ails it away from it. And then I also see like energies that are kind of passing down through you, almost like lightning in a way, where an energy kind of surges through you. They keep wanting to use that word, surges through you, and this can come from your hands, from your mind, from words that you're saying. And so you can heal something with this. There's also a lot of energies that you have that are stored in your chakras, they're saying. There's a lot of energy with that. And again, they're talking about grounding, that you can actually use that energy to ground yourself firmly to the ground, and that is going to open you up to, they're saying, more psychic recall. Not sure what they mean by that. Okay, part of it is past life recall, they're saying, but then also psychic recalling of abilities. because these are naturally expressed. It's like you just have to remember how to use them on your own, and they're just going to come out naturally. And I also get a feeling of telekinetic ability, telekinesis. That you have the power to do that if you relax. So meditation would really help you with a lot of these abilities and them coming through. Okay, so let's get to this is question number 6. Something about it. There was another time actually when I went into your reading a while back and then I was interrupted and I wasn't able to do it. I have to be able to put enough space for the 90-minute readings. So sometimes it takes me a little bit longer because of that. But that first time when I went in, I saw it looked like an archangel, and the first thing that I noticed was blue eyes. That they were noticeable, like what you are describing here. And this was one of your guides coming in, and so it occurred to me that this individual that you're referring to may have some sort of connection to this same archangel that you're having a connection to, because the archangel himself came in with these very intense eyes. And I keep getting a Z with this. I'm going to look this up. I know I've seen an angel with a Z name. There's a few. Zadkiel. How do I even say this? Zerachiel? Zachariel? I don't know how to say this name. I have a really intense energy coming in now. It says your hands and feet might tingle when you call on this person, and I've definitely been having that tingle ever since this energy came in. So this is saying this is one of the 7 archangels named in the book of Enoch. And this is mainly speaking about just this okay, so this persuasion and this calming, because I was talking about animals and healing and things like this. But what he's talking about again is this persuasion thing, and he's saying that this is coming out of him also, this ability to calm others and induce a calmness over others where they can think clearly, where they can react differently to situations and events and things that you are saying. They can react differently to you. Now, over and over, I have a cat coming up, a black cat coming up. Okay, and I'm remembering something that came up at the very beginning of the reading, and I don't know actually if you are aware of this connection. I wasn't sure if you would actually be aware of this, but geez, what is her name? Oh my gosh, I forget this goddess's name now. She's so popular. I can't remember this goddess's name. It's an Asian goddess. What is this goddess's name? How is this falling out of my head right now? I don't remember her name. Kuan Yin, that's her name. Kuan Yin. Don't know why I forgot that. Anyway, there was a Kuan Yin energy coming in also, and a connection to her and some other goddess energies around that you are connecting with also. And that are just influencing things around you. And also towards the beginning, I got a feeling of you and I could feel an energy of you having a lifetime in India. And this was a female energy though. I don't know if I told you in the last reading that you were male in that other lifetime that was coming through where you were the elf witch. I don't know if I said male and I noticed I said witch, and so I thought I should probably say male because usually when you say witch it's female. Anyway, I just thought of that. But so there was an energy, but I'm getting an odd energy from your guides. This lifetime where you are this Indian woman, and this feels very spiritual, almost like a spiritual guru or something. This doesn't feel like it's this earth dimension, but it feels like it's a very similar one. And so India and all these things would be similar. But this feels like it could almost be like another timeline. I don't feel like it's future though. I still feel like it's past. Not that that really matters. None of this is linear anyway, but there's a feeling of it being almost like a parallel Earth, like another parallel reality Earth, and not this same one here. And I get a feeling of lifetimes that you don't know about, almost like they're jumping all around. I almost feel like it would be so difficult for them to get into all of the different ones. And I still get and I even get a feeling almost like that is part of the reason why this, that's not the only reason. They're saying that focusing on this one is important. Focusing now, here and now in the present is important. I have a connection with you to this angel though, this Zerachiel, I think his name was. I have a female energy coming up too. Okay, she is, I have so not heard this name in such a long time. She is giving me the name Lady Venus. Who does that person work with? I vaguely remember this name. Some ascended master or something. She has an angelic frequency as well, actually. I know she's an ascended master, though I've heard of this name. But she has a very angelic frequency. She still has a very soft energy. and yet a powerful energy as well. Like they keep saying, it's soft, but it's powerful. And she's saying that too. The strongest power requires the lightest touch. And when you allow the most comes through you. And there is this balance that they keep speaking about, because she's saying here again that it isn't about dominating others or controlling others, but at the same time it is influencing them. There is the ability to influence them, and he's talking about inducing a calmness over them. And he's showing me a picture of a child, and part of the reason that he likes working with children is because of how open they are. And they're easy to influence in a positive direction, in a positive way. But they're saying that if someone isn't, they let them go. They're saying something about feeling isolated or alienated from others and wanting to find another who is like yourself. But she's saying, but some people may seem like you and not really be like you, and some people are a test to see whether or not you really know yourself. And who will you give yourself to? Who will you give yourself away to? And he's saying, and your power away to. She's saying, you're going back and forth. Who will you give your influence to and allow them to have influence over you or even dominance over you? And she's saying that you have to be careful who you allow to influence you or sway you. She's saying at this time especially, because you're still forming almost like your position in the world and what direction to go in. This avenue is still developing and coming to you, and you're still processing the exact thing that you're going to do. It's like it's in motion, it's in process. And she's saying that this is the beginning stages of something much bigger. She's saying she knows it's important for you to know who you were in past lifetimes, but what's really most important to them is you completing what you are meant to do here in this lifetime. And so something important for you to do here in this lifetime. And like they said, you were someone important in different past lifetimes. However, they're basically saying, let's say for a second, not because this is the case, But as a for instance, let's say for a second that you weren't. You need to have a knowing that you can do this, that you can do what you are here to do here and now. Because you can, and they want to, she's saying that you're growing into a state of power, and they are watching you. I have another male energy coming up. Okay, I have to look this up because I'm sure that's who this person is. Does this start with a K? I can't remember. Lord. It does start with a K because your Lord. God, who was this Lord? Okay, Lady Venus and Lord Kumara. Lord Kumara and Lady Venus. Sanat Kumara. Hold on here a second. Okay. I was almost wondering if, because I was getting confused for a second with Sananda and Sanat Kumara. I was going, hold on a second, is this like something to do with Jesus? Because I was almost feeling like a Jesus connection, but I should be feeling a Jesus connection because then I'm on this website talking about how he's connected to Maitreya, Buddha, Christ. They're saying four cosmic energies: Maitreya, Buddha, Christ, and Sanat Kumara. And Sanat Kumara, the word on this website, which I'm only briefly going down, when it gets to him, they're speaking about being selfless and surrendering. And that's something that they've been talking about through this whole reading, this idea of almost surrendering yourself to this other power that wants to come through you, but also understanding it's your power. So I'm not meaning this other power like it's all from around you, all of your guides and other things, because a lot of this is from yourself also, but meaning this higher power and how they're talking about sitting still and allowing it to surge through you and be used by you. Okay. What is that? I think someone's drilling or something. I don't know if you hear that in the thing. I feel some other ascended master coming up, and this person almost feels like Pleiadian too, but then like an ascended master. So I almost just want to say a Pleiadian connection, or almost like they could be confused with a Pleiadian or something. But then at the same time, I feel like an actual Pleiadian energy. But then I'm feeling an archangel energy. So again, I'm almost getting this feeling that sometimes some of these energies can be confused with Pleiadians, but then at the same time, I feel like you may very well have some actual Pleiadians around you. I also get a feeling of Arcturus, and also that you are from there, or that you, maybe not from there, but like you've had a lifetime there. You've had a lifetime there, not from there, but you've had a lifetime there. You had a significant lifetime there, it feels like. And this energy, this archangel energy, this is a very healing energy as well. You possess this very healing energy, and I do feel that in some lifetimes, one in particular, you were a healer. Water. Okay, they're sending this information in so many different pieces. They're skipping around so much. I have Kuan Yin coming up again, and I feel like she's connected to this as well. This group of like archangel slash goddess slash like ascended masters that you have around you. There's so many new age stuff that I have not looked at in so long, and they're just like bombarding my head with it. Okay, I'm sure a long time ago I saw something about, yeah, like 124 elders or something. Okay, now I gotta look that up. Okay, so like the White Brotherhood or something. The Great White Brotherhood. Is that? I don't know if that's what this is. Hold on. Okay, let me look this up. 124. Is it 124 or 144? Okay, I saw 144, and then I just doubted it for a second because I thought logically that I remembered 124, but no, it's 144. It's 24 elders and 144,000. Somehow this energy is connected to that, but then I'm also getting this other separate thing. So they want you to keep that in mind, to take note of that. This 24 elders and the 144,000. It's so weird. I see the number 144 so often. Wolf and I both do all the time, and 44 constantly. Okay, anyway. And the other thing was the Great White Brotherhood. Great White Brotherhood in belief systems akin to Theosophical and New Age are said to be supernatural beings of great power who spread spiritual teachings through selected humans. The members of the Brotherhood may be known as the Masters of the Ancient Wisdom or the Ascended Masters. Okay, no wonder everybody here is an Ascended Master or an Archangel. Okay, so yeah, they're definitely connected to this, but they're still saying the 24 elders and the 144,000. They're still sending an energy with that as well. So it's not only this, it's also that. Okay, but this sticks out to me, and they're sending an energy about this. Okay, so the Great White Brotherhood are said to be supernatural beings of great power who spread spiritual teachings through selected humans. So this again, this energy, this idea that you're here to bring something down through you and that you have to let it come down through you naturally. Okay, now I have to look this up. Okay. Okay, so she wanted me to ask, what is Lady Venus supposed to help with? So she's basically, it seems, it's like she's bringing in true love, like real love, not fake crap that humans call love and it isn't. She brings in a real love that radiates through everything. And harmony and connectedness and compassion and she's also adding mastering your senses. Even in here it says something about mastery, but it's more talking about love. She's saying mastering your senses, becoming wise. And her energy feels very psychic. It feels very wise. It feels very clairvoyant. So you have a lot of abilities definitely that you can tap into and probably that you've already been tapping into to a high degree, at least in some instances for sure you must. And when you're having these guides around you and also when they're coming in this intense sort of way. So you have a lot of guides that are coming from this group. And I can't really say groups because it almost seems like this 144,000 and the 24 elders and also this great white brotherhood that they might, I don't know if they're the same thing, but they're definitely connected somehow. Like they're part of the same thing almost, or they're very connected to the point that they almost feel like they could be the same thing, even if they aren't. It's 5:22 p.m. That's another number that Wolf and I have been seeing a lot of recently is 22, over and over and over. So I feel these people around you a lot visiting you. You do have some extraterrestrial groups visiting, but you do. I definitely would feel that you do. But also I feel that sometimes again that they can be confused with these guides who are coming up and who are around you. And so that might even be part of the reason why there might even be some confusion, if there is any, about how many there are or what group they're coming to you from. And during your last reading, you did have an extraterrestrial group coming up as your guides, and they felt more like some kind of elven kind of group, but at the same time, it felt like Vega or Lyra, that kind of energy, but at the same time, Elven. And that was one particular group. Now, this one coming in, though, this feels more like the main group around you, these archangels and ascended masters. This feels like the most prominent energy around you. That other group, it didn't feel as prominent, but it felt important for you at the time to know. Now this Indian lady, she's bringing up this Indian lady again. This male archangel is still here, Zarakiel or whatever his name is. Sorry, I can't get your name right. I think I'm getting it actually. I think I am, or either that or he thinks it's fine how I'm saying it. Anyway, though, she's bringing up this Indian lifetime again, and I feel like this person also was prominent, this person, this guru woman. But there's no way that this would be someone that you could hear of here, because this, like I was saying, this is some kind of parallel dimension on Earth. And so it's very similar to ours, but it is not the same one. It's parallel realities that overlap and are quite similar, but not the same. And during some of these, I'm actually getting a feeling that during that, not all of them, they're specifically saying that some of these lifetimes you have accurately, like the person who it is and everything. But they're actually saying that some other lifetimes that you think you're recalling in an exact way, they're saying that you're very close. But the thing is that it's almost like you can't recall the exact person or place, etc., because they're in a very similar reality, and they acted in a very similar way or had a very similar lifetime or experience as to this other person that you're thinking that they are, but they were in a parallel reality, and so you can't really it's almost like the way that you can most accurately describe or know who this person is to give them a name from someone that you knew here, they're saying. Because they were in this other parallel reality, and it's someone that you can't know. So almost like the way you're bringing it in, or the way that you can remember it and access all the knowledge that they have, is to connect to a very, very similar energy to someone that you were. But I get the feeling that that isn't how it is in every case. But in some cases, and also I feel like there are other things that you're going to be remembering or recalling. So some of this also doesn't even have to do with now that they're mentioning. Some of it is in the future, things that you're going to recall. So they want you to keep that in mind. that sometimes it actually has to do with a parallel reality, but it is someone who is well known in that reality. And there is someone, or there are people who may be very similar to that person, like have very similar traits or have a very similar lifetime experience. Like they may be a scientist or something like this, who's very prominent here and discovered the same type of thing, right? And really, you were this type of person in this other parallel reality and not here in this one. And they're specifically coming in with that. I specifically get this feeling of a scientist who has discovered something and or invented something, especially discovered something, and they're very prominent because of that discovery in their lifetime. And it leads them to discover other things, and it almost opens this avenue for other scientists to expand on that. But that this person, it feels like someone in another reality. It feels like someone in a parallel Earth reality. And I get this feeling again of you kind of jumping around and experiencing different Earth realities. And I feel like not even just here you do that. You actually do that out there too. You kind of jump to other timelines, and then just other realities, parallel realities. You're not always in this one. And they're saying that this is true of other people as well. But I feel like you especially are not sticking to one timeline or one reality or one dimension or place. So it's not set in stone. I get this feeling like a lot of people, they like to, especially, or at least at different periods of time, like for a while, they want to really discover this one reality and work through that and experiment with that and find themselves through that one. Or maybe they just have something that they really want to do there in that one. And so they keep coming back to almost fuel them for later on. Take in as much as they can from that one so that they can do this. Whereas you've had kind of missions in different realities, and also you've had things that you've wanted to learn from various experiences. And now you've mastered certain things, certain abilities. Now you're in a more physical reality this time, but you have been definitely in others here in this dimension and in some others, because like they said, these are parallel Earths that are very similar. So obviously they are also having a physical experience in many of those parallel realities. But you're just hopping around, having a lot of different experiences, learning a lot of things, also achieving a lot of things, mastering things, but also I almost get a sense of like almost humbleness and was one word coming in, and etiquette is a word coming in, and gentleness is a word coming in. Both of those, so this balance, they're saying that etiquette almost, and they're coming in with an energy of like mastering almost how to react with people and speak with people. And there's a political energy with this. Even in your last reading, the first one, there was like a political leader kind of energy coming in. Now then I also get a feeling of I also get a feeling of lifetimes where we're just somebody normal, of course, obviously. You're not anybody who has some big mission, or you're not anyone who ends up being important either in their own right Just what they do ends up sparking something, even if nobody really knows about them. Or on the other hand, people do end up knowing about them, either later on or in that lifetime. So there are some lifetimes where you don't have any of that, and you are just coming there to experience being human. You're like experiencing the culture. So this could be out there, this could be here, being human, and you just want to expand and grow. Now they're coming back to this thing of you have a lot of these ascended masters and archangels around you. The reason is because they kind of sent me that energy about question 5 a little bit ago, and now they're sending it again, having to do with question 5. And so even if you, it's almost like I don't want to say you've been taken up in a ship per se, even if you have, but but it's this group, and they can be kind of extraterrestrial, or they can be confused with extraterrestrials, and also you do have some extraterrestrial groups around you that aren't quite as prominent as this group. And Arcturus coming in again, Andromeda coming in. But so that doesn't mean that they aren't taking you somewhere, though. But this group, it's like they aren't necessarily going to take you in a ship exactly. Or at least you wouldn't really be going into space. I almost get the feeling of a Merkaba, and you are like in almost like this, almost like traveling through light, and you're just going into this other dimension, this other place, and you're communicating with these beings. And that's also answering question 3. So you're going to this place, you're traveling to these different dimensions where you're connecting to these different guides in a sense, but they're like deities and ascended masters and archangels and these types of beings. But there are some extraterrestrials who are visiting you too, but it feels like more energetically, especially. For some reason, they're not wanting to get into question number 1 yet. They're saying almost like, let that be a mystery for a while. I feel like that'll unravel and you'll understand it, is the feeling from them. Okay, so we have about 20 minutes left, and they want me to pull some cards, so I'm going to go and get those. Okay, I'm also going to get my other deck, actually. Okay, I have 2 decks here. Okay, I'm going to start with this one. And the camera. Turn the laptop, actually. Okay. So I'm starting with my Heart of Fairy Oracle deck. Okay, this is a deck that I don't normally use for the reason that I'm not familiar with all of the meanings yet 100%. Okay, so this card is called Believing. Let me try and get it where you can actually kind of see it. It's right in the light. Okay. And this card is talking about okay, the thing that's really sticking out to me about this is you can't move forward without leaving some of what you were behind you. This is growth. It is important to acknowledge the leaving of things as you begin your journey, but your guides are sending you this energy like the opposite is also true. And really the opposite is what they want to express, the opposite of this card, which is that this card is talking about how you leave some of what you were behind you when you move forward. But what they're saying is the reverse is more true, like, or what they would more want to stress, not more true, but more what they would want to stress, that you take things from those past lives to where you are now, and you take knowledge and you take things that you have earned, that you've been granted, that you've been gifted from those timelines and parallel realities and lifetimes, and also just who you are, and you express it here. Okay, and that's something else that they want to talk about. Okay, but I'm supposed to use this other deck now. Okay, so what do you want to say about that? Okay, so this is the fairy who was kissed by the pixies. It's really hard to see these. The fairy who was kissed by the pixies. Just put it down. So she is all about love there again. Okay, so this is what Lady Venus was speaking about before. This energy of like being in the all that is, and almost spreading that. So helping to end things like violence and corruption, and this really goes along with this. Okay, so this is the Piper 24. And he is all about polite, gentle persuasion. He persuades, the Piper persuades. He plays his flute and all these people come and they follow him. So he's almost putting them in this trance. He's persuading them. But in the deck, he does it through polite, gentle requests. He persuades others. So with a gentle energy, he's persuading them to come and follow him. And this also is going along with this idea of like harmony and group interaction in a they're giving me the word nostalgic way. And what they're meaning by that is almost like a way that people would long for, almost like an earth that people would long for. Like people wish things were different. People wish things were more loving and more free and more unified and more heart-centered. So it's helping them come to that in the way that you feel drawn to almost preparing others to accept a new energy. But again, you have to allow it yourself first. You have to allow it to come down through you. And this isn't only this emotion that they're speaking about, although that is a high that can really influence this energy coming down through you. Definitely. Being in that state, being in that vibration can help you connect to higher entities and tap higher abilities. Definitely. So it is about being in a higher state. $44 again, 5:44. Only looked at the clock at those times that I've mentioned. $5:22 and 5:44. So it is about being in a higher state, but it's also just this state of peace and allowance. And that's what you're encouraging others with, to be peaceful, to be in an allowance state, a state of allowance, an allowing state. Because she's saying that people want to experience peace, but they don't look at themselves, they don't work on themselves, they don't try to calm themselves. They want peace, but they create conflict because they don't have peace within themselves and they think it's another's fault. And so they have to go after this other person and correct that person. And all that does is create all these fights and all these arguments. So this is about being still and being in your center. Being completely still. And when she's saying completely still, there's again this feeling of almost time standing still. So almost still this like parallel reality kind of feeling coming through that they're sending. Like almost like all times are influenced by this. There is this energy coming in that they're sending. This energy of being able to traverse all times, this energy of being able to influence all times and almost be a master of shifting times, being able to go into any timeline that you want. That's also part of the reason that your soul does this a lot of times. It can almost shapeshift in between these realities and in between these different timelines. That's just a capability that it has. So that's part of the reason that you're having all these various timelines pop up and all these various realities popping up, even in the same like spot or even in the same dimension. You have these different realities coming up, or in a similar dimension. But they're actually saying multiple realities in one dimension. So this is one dimension, but it has these different parallel realities within it, they're saying. And they're saying that those aren't all different dimensions. So you can have a lot of different parallel realities in a single dimension, they're saying. I did not know that. Hadn't heard of that. Okay. Okay, so what cards am I taking? Everything just fell out. Okay, this one I'm taking. This one fell out by himself. Okay, this is Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to pull him with another card. Okay, but I'm going to use this deck, actually. I felt like I was supposed to pull the one on the top, but I was like, whatever, I'm going to shuffle. And the one on the top totally, like, I tripped it with my finger and it just fell off to the floor. The Green Man. Okay, what is this card about? Okay, he is 29. Oops, wrong way. Oh, this is interesting. Well, these cards are actually two opposites. Because this card, Gotcha, he's similar to the Tower card in Tarot. He is like this destructive force that just kind of destroys everything. And it can seem really bad and really terrible, or you can actually be relieved and really happy about it, depending on what it was and if you wanted to remove it or not. But either way, it's about something, some deep pattern that someone is in, a deep way of being. But then the Green Man obviously is the very opposite. He's all about your vitality and your life force, and he's a very primal energy. He's the energy of life itself and growing things. So he's the energy of growth and creation and spiraling that forward, whereas he's this energy of almost removing something, destroying something. But like I said, it can be a very positive thing. It can actually make room for growth and make room in your life for something new. They're sending me an energy again about people with this also. And I feel like this is almost what they want to end the reading with. They almost want to end it on this note. But I don't feel like all of this is with people. There's this idea, this energy coming in at almost look at what can be or should be removed almost from your life and from your frequency also. So also from your inward being to make room for new growth and make room for life force and this energy that wants to come down through you. What can you remove to call that up and stir that up? So it's going to come down, but I also get the feeling of it stirring up and coming out. And harnessing is another word that has come through several times during the reading. But then also even with people, are there people that you should remove, eradicate from your life who are actually poisonous, who are toxic? And if so, who are they? And who are friends and who are not friends is a feeling that they're coming in with. And can you be sure? And how can you be sure? Can you be? And if so, how can you be? How can you be sure of who is a friend and who is not? Okay, I'm supposed to ask this. How can you be? Okay, so these are the three cards that came up. Okay, here's better lighting over here. So this is the first card here that came up. And he is basically a fear that isn't real. He looks frightening, but then he isn't really. He won't actually cause anyone harm. He's like a phantom in the closet. Like a kid sees something in the closet. Not that that can't actually be harmful, but according to, you know, adults who don't actually believe them, it will just go away because it isn't real. Okay. And so it's basically you face the fear and then it goes away. Now this is initiation. And then this is basically, it is like a person or an entity, but the card can represent a person or an energy that thwarts you. And so these cards basically tell me who is encouraging you to step into your power and your presence. And so basically pass through any fear or any doubt and come to initiation. So step into who you are, step into your power, and then who's belittling you or undermining you or making you feel like you can't or making you feel apprehensive, or who just thwarts things, because that's what this energy really does. He thwarts things. He in this deck is this energy of someone who just meddles in things. He takes your papers and he tosses them all around. You can't find them, and you feel dislocated, and he dislocates things, and so he causes a lot of confusion, and he kind of muddles and mucks things up where you don't know where you are or who you are almost. So who helps you step into who you are more and into your power more, and who takes that away or attempts to take that away, and who thwarts that? So that's something to think about. Who encourages you and allows you, and who enables you, and then who disables you? I don't want to say enable exactly, that's a word that they came in with, but even they're sending this energy. They almost don't want to say enable because no one can really enable you. Obviously, you enable yourself, or you even disable yourself. But who is a help to you, and who thwarts you, basically, or attempts to? And this can be, it doesn't have to just be with something really physical where they actually present a stumbling block. It can be, but it can also just be an attitude or just a way of being that is toxic and harms you or hurts your energy in some way. And they're not even saying necessarily to eradicate them completely, and maybe in some cases you can't, but to be aware of what harms your energy and to keep your energy intact and keep your energy protected and secure. And be aware of influences that are coming towards yourself, not just that you're giving out, but that are coming towards you. Okay, that's all that they have to say. Okie dokie. Oh, my cards are falling out everywhere. Okay, I'll deal with that in a minute. Okay, so there. So, what was this person's name? Wait, what was your code name? Oh, I have a lot of code names. Let me think here. Okay, this was. You guys want to help me here any second? Okay, whatever your code name is. Thank you. So that's right. Graceful power. See, as soon as I gave up on it, it just came through. Okay. So cheesy. All right. Thank you so much, Graceful Power, for allowing me to do this reading for you. And I really hope that this has helped you in some way and will help you on your path in whatever way that it may. Thank you very much. Namaste.